started my fitness career over 2 decades ago by placing first runner-up grand champion in the world-renowned Body for Life contest. I was taught through my nutrition and exercise certifications that you can't spot reduce, that you can't burn hanging lower belly fat and target fat in that area, that you lose fat from all over your body, that if you stored it last on your face, you're gonna burn it first off of your face. Now, although this is factual, this does not mean that you can't target fat in the belly region. And I want to cite 2 different studies here. They did a 5-week study and a 6-week study, and both groups trained one leg and left the other leg untrained. And when they went back and they measured muscle and fatty tissue in the trained leg actually lost more fat than the untrained leg. Now, the conclusion to these studies shows that fat burning is higher in adjacent pockets of fat or fatty tissue that are on top of contracting muscle tissue. So if we know this, we can actually target hanging lower belly fat. Now, just to drive this home, if you look up on the screen right now, you'll see that I've used the techniques that I'm going to share with you on the whiteboard behind me to get ready for over 5 photo shoots. So let's dive in and show you how you can legitimately burn hanging lower belly fat. All right, so let's talk about stubborn fat solution number 1. And before I dive in, I want to let you know these 3 strategies are going to work best if you're down to that stubborn fat. That last 10, 15, 20 pounds of stubborn fat when you've hit a plateau. If you're just beginning your weight loss journey and you're just trying to rapidly lose weight, you need to follow Fat Loss 101. Then, once you start losing weight and get this in place, you can start implementing these stubborn fat solution strategies. And number 1 is just timing your exercise the right way. You see, if we exercise at the right time, when insulin is very stable or low, it allows our body to more easily access stubborn fat cells as a fuel source. And anytime you eat, even if it's a healthy choice and it's a healthy meal or a healthy snack, your body's insulin levels will be elevated. And the teeniest amounts of insulin have been shown in scientific research to stop your body from accessing the fat cells that are stuck inside your body. By exercising when insulin is very, very low, which means we haven't eaten, so that would be in a fasted state, your body is much more likely to access these stubborn fat cells. So the good time to do this would be 3 to 4 hours after a meal. This will allow your insulin to stabilize for the 3 to 4 hours afterwards, so that when you go into that workout, you're in more of a fat burning environment. A better time is during a fast. So either in the middle of an intermittent fast, or maybe in the morning when you wake up on an empty stomach. Now, the reason this is so effective is not only because insulin is so low and stable, it's because fasting kicks up and activates your body's sympathetic nervous system. This is your body's fight or flight response. And when this is activated, your pituitary will release more growth hormone, and your adrenal glands will release hormones called catecholamines. The 2 primary ones are known as norepinephrine and adrenaline. These are the hormones that actually are responsible for releasing fatty acids from your stubborn fat cells that are stuck into your bloodstream, where they are delivered to working tissue and burned as fuel, which is why the best time to exercise would be at the end of a fast, because these hormones are at their peak, and so you're gonna get maximum results. So now let's go ahead, let's dive in to strategy number 2 that's based on the research studies that I just covered a few minutes ago. Stubborn fat solution number 2 is by far my favorite. And in fact, if you look on the screen here, you can see how I recently used this at 50 years old to go from almost 16% body fat all the way down to 5.8%. That's why I love it so much. And it does work best when you want to get rid of that last little bit of stubborn fat, whether it's in your lower belly region or on another body part. Now, there's 3 simple steps here, and scientifically, these steps are called mobilize, transport, and oxidize. Now, over the years of using this strategy, I've simplified this and dumbed it down so that people can easily understand it. So mobilize is release, transport is just deliver, and then oxidize simply means burn. So you simply want to release these fat cells into the bloodstream, you want to deliver them to working tissue where they can be burned off, and then you want to burn them or oxidize them to shrink a stubborn fat cell. So how do we do this? Well, step number 1 is to remember fasted training. It's to perform some type of high intensity interval training in a fasted state. We talked about those fight or flight hormones that intermittent fasting creates, how it elevates those hormones. Well, if you do short, hard bursts of high intensity interval training, it actually enhances this process because it kicks up your sympathetic nervous system even further. And of course, this is what it's going to force your body to release these fatty acids from your stubborn fat cells into the bloodstream. Now, how do you know if you're actually getting the effect you need? Well, if you're going hard enough, you should experience something called GH tingles. If you do this in a fasted state, experiment going easy at first, but you need to learn to push yourself as hard as you can go in that fasted state. And if you start feeling tingles, that's an indication you're doing the right thing. They call those GH tingles, which means your pituitary gland is actually releasing growth hormone. So once you've done this, that mobilizes or releases those fatty acids into the bloodstream. Now you need step 2. You need to transport or deliver those fatty acids to working tissue where it can be burned off. So this is where you create blood flow, because research shows that fat burning is higher in adjacent pockets of fat that have blood flow. So if you want to target lower ab fat, you're going to do an ab circuit. So simply pick an exercise for your lower abs, your upper abs, and your obliques, or you could just maybe stick with lower abs if that's what you want to target. And I recommend doing a circuit of some kind. Pick 2 or 3 exercises, go back and forth, do some high reps, and take about 5 minutes to do about 100 reps in your ab region. That creates massive blood flow in your lower abdominal region. Now, because you have all these fight or flight hormones floating around, you've released all these fatty acids into the bloodstream, and you created all this blood flow, those fatty acids are going to start going to that abdominal region, and now you need to oxidize or burn those fatty acids from that stomach region. And the way that you do this is you end this protocol with a medium intensity cardio or like an incline walk for about 20 to 30 minutes. You see, in the scientific community, there's a term called re-esterification, and it happens to stubborn fat cells. And what happens is, if you just do an ab circuit and you just have these hormones, and now you've released all these fatty acids into the bloodstream, and you don't do some type of brisk walk or medium intensity cardio to burn them off, research shows they can actually resettle and restore into another area of your body. That is re-esterification, and doing that medium intensity cardio at the end of this protocol is the key to preventing it. So if you like this video and you got something out of it, click the link in description or in the pinned comment, head on over and join our free 14-day Hormone Reset Challenge SKOOL community, where we're gonna give you instant access to our Rapid Fat Loss Starter Kit, 100% free. Now, a lot of people will say, okay, what's the catch here? Why are you giving this away for free? And I can tell you, after 2+ decades of being a fitness pro, spending the last 15 years, I sold over 1 million ebooks, I've identified the #1 reason people fail. First of all, it's because the weight loss industry in general is broken, and 94% of all dieters regain all or more of the weight that they lose because they don't understand how to build a lifestyle of leanness. See, it's all about sustainability and adherence. And trying to use social media doesn't work as well. Research shows it leads to the comparison trap, which leads to more unhappiness and more depression. And SKOOL has overcome this problem. And when you head on over and you get free instant access to our Rapid Fat Loss Starter Kit today, you're gonna be part of a like-minded community, a group of people your age who share your struggles and your same goals, and will help you build lifestyle habits so that you can use these to stay lean until you're 90 or 100 years old if you want. So thanks for watching this, and God bless.